Hey, my name's Tyler. I make demo reels like this.
You think I am one of you? No. Your family's blood is not in my veins. It is on my hands. Take them away.
No matter what card I play, it just keeps getting destroyed. I guess I have no choice. I can't surrender! Which means I'm going home. This game sucks.
Something wasn't right with him. And I just ignored it like everything was fine. And now, he's gone because of me! I'm a monster!
Today we're doing the first episode of the demo reel review, and I'm really surprised with the amount of engagement that we got on the first post. Thank you to everybody who submitted their reels. And yeah, if any of you are interested in getting a new demo reel done, or if you're just starting out and you would like a demo reel, go to athanaka.com and get yours today, and you'll all receive a 15% discount. And with the shameless plug out the way, let's go to the first demo reel. Our first demo is from Alex Randalls. We'll do a reaction first, and then we'll go into it.
You're stronger than you think, son.
Immediately, by the way, 1 minute 06. Nice.
Time has a way of teaching us. Sometimes gently, sometimes harshly. But it always shapes us into something more. Now, why don't you try again tomorrow?
Oh, the sound of despair! It's music to my ears. Go on, scream a little louder. I live for chaos. I don't care how strong you are. I'm not giving up. My friends are counting on me, and I'll fight it till my last breath to protect them. You'll never break me!
If my calculations are correct, this device should neutralize the enemy's energy field. All we need is precise timing.
You think the world is black and
Calculations are correct. This device should neutralize the enemy's energy field. All we need is precise timing.
You think the world is black and white, don't you? It's all just shades of gray. Being the hero doesn't save anyone. It's just survival.
Wait, so we take this thing to that place? Or was it the other way around? Ugh, boss, can't we just, I don't know, hit him real hard instead?
Okay. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of really good stuff here. I think that his range and I think the emotions that they're carrying, I think are really good. I think the scripting's quite good as well. I think a lot of these slots portray the emotion that is like trying to be received here, and I think that it carries really well with his voice. I also like the visuals. I think, you know, they're just simple, nice, have your face in it. I always like it when people have their real faces in it. Yeah, it's good and it's good and simple. It gets the information across. You have your socials and whatnot. It's all you really need. I'm also really
Need is precise timing.
You think the world
Of
is
this
black and
voice.
white, don't you? It's all just shades of gray. Being the hero doesn't save anyone.
Now, I think this is probably inspired by the animated version of Batman. I can hear a little bit of that in it immediately. But, you know, there's some different qualities to it, and I think it's quite unique. And I think it's probably your strongest one. I think either this or the Knight are probably your strongest slots. Which brings me on to the first thing that I would potentially change, which is the order of the reel. I think that the first slot you have, when casting directors are looking at demo reels, they need something to sort of hook them in immediately. In the first 5 seconds, they need something that's going to spark their ears a little bit and they stay, because sometimes they have hundreds of demo reels and they definitely get ear fatigue. Because if they've done 50 already that day and they come across your demo reel, if there's not something interested in the first 5 seconds, they might just dismiss it. Now here, your first slot
You're stronger than you think, son.
is good.
Time
I
has a way of
like it.
teaching
I
us.
think I like the warm emotions that they have, but I don't think it's the right slot for slot 1. I think the Knight actually is the better slot because it has that emotion, but it's also your natural voice. I always say for your first slot, it should be your natural voice. It should be your resting voice, I think. Here, I think it's still your resting voice. I think it's just a lot more emotional than the warm, calmer version here. I then think for your second slot, I think you then jump all the way to here.
World is black and white, don't you? It's
The reason why is because the range difference here is really good. I think you sound very distinct in both of these voices. And if you're able to do that off the bat, then I think it's a really easy way to catch people's attention, because it is something that's just, whiplashy. It's different, but it's good. I would then probably go to slot number 2
Sound of despair!
to change up the emotion and change things to a little more lighthearted, since we had 2 serious ones back to back. And then I would, for your 4th slot, go to your first one.
Than you think, son.
Because then you're slowly, so you brought it up, and you slowly brought it down, and then your last one brings it back to
Or was it
comedic
the other way around? Ugh, boss, can we...
and brings it back. Again, these things are quite subjective. I think that somebody could come along and have completely different opinions on the positions than I do, and I think that's also completely fine. Clearly, considering the person that made this obviously didn't do it in this order. The other thing that I would personally change is some of the mixing. I think that some of it is not complementary to the emotion that you're trying to portray. The biggest one, in my opinion, is with the knights. I think that with something like this, I think you need to have the emotions swell together. I think the mixing needs to complement the kind of emotion that you're trying to portray. In this case, I think I could hear crickets and some light kind of music in the background and some walking stuff. But apart from that, I don't feel like I'm with you in the moment. And unfortunately, sometimes I think that can hinder your take, because if I just listen to it solo with just your voice, I can hear the emotion in there, but then I feel like as soon as the mixing comes into it, I feel like it sort of renders it down a bit. I feel like the crescendo of emotion kind of gets flattened.
How strong you are! I'm not giving up! My friends are counting on me! And I'll fight until my last breath to protect them! You'll never break me!
And at the end there, for example, the sound effects used for the sword hitting and the hits and everything, I feel like just doesn't match well. Now again, I think there are different styles of mixing when it comes to demo reels. I think some people try to completely focus on the voice and have everything else be kind of low in the mix comparatively. However, I feel like the vocal mixing as well, I think is a little too spacey. I think there's a little too much reverb on it, and I feel like you need to be a bit more in the front of the mix, because a lot of this I think is kind of drowning in reverb a little bit. But fortunately for you, I think that your acting kind of carries it, and you can kind of get away with it anyway. I still think this is actually quite a good demo reel. But overall, I really like this demo reel. I think with a couple mixing changes and potentially a position change, I think this could be a really, really solid reel. The next reel we have is from Rachel Meister. And what's really interesting immediately is that you have an animated character and a real version of yourself both in the same demo reel, which I find is really cool, actually. I haven't seen that, I think, ever. I think a lot of people either choose one or the other if they have their animated sort of like avatar and sort of mascot, I guess, or they have their real face, but not both. That's quite cool. Also, again, 1 minute dead on. Nice.
Hey, sis. I might have broken your screen. I swear it was an accident, and I'm so sorry. Ow! Ow, ow, ow! Hey! I said I was sorry! Don't you know what personal space is? Because right now, you're causing me to rethink us as lab partners.
A young princess like me needs all the care in the world. I need to be treated at all time. Lights! Like the star of the show.
Yeah, my dad could be your dad. He's really big and yours is dead.
I need to restart this. Hang on.
Yeah, my dad could be your dad. He's really big and yours is dead. So he punches the ground really hard, like BAM!
Hello, I have 3 lattes. It's extra hot, so just be extra careful.
Oh my god, I am so sorry, sir. Let me grab a towel. Oh my god, oh my god.
Okay, this is very interesting. So immediately I can tell that the way that you can portray different emotions is great. I think that the variants in your voices aren't that different, but I think that the emotion that you're able to portray in those voices kind of carries the character through. We'll touch on the visuals first. I think everything looks fine. I think that you could maybe change the social bit here and the character demo reel here to fit a little closer to what this looks like. I think this looks like a little better. I think that if you had it as the same, either the same font or a similar kind of font with the same kind of styling, I think that would bring things together a little bit more. You can also probably get rid of the HTTPS. Since it doesn't have the www, but it does have this. I think it looks a little cleaner when you don't have that, because people will know that's how a website works. But I understand why you put it. And the last thing, I will say the visual bar here. I think you could probably tweak the settings on it a little bit so that it is more reactive. It does sort of pick itself up a little bit, but I think if it was slightly more reactive, then you would see things moving all the time throughout the frequency spectrum. Rather than here, I think it's only when you're peaking. But here, I think it's only on certain decibel levels that it's actually even reacting at all. But those are minor little things. I really like the background. I really like the avatar. I really like the idea in the first place. And I also I just want to check. Does
Like the
this
star
does
of
this
the show.
change based on?
Yeah, my dad could be swear it was an
does-
accident.
it does
Sorry.
that.
Ow! 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 Hey! I said I was sorry! Don't you know?
Okay, it doesn't. Okay. So the last thing I would say, just these are like small little nitpicks. The background, since this is seemingly a loop, you could probably have it so that it matches up, so that it loops forever, and it doesn't mean that you have to crossfade it. But that's just, again, something small. I don't think it matters too much. So moving on to the scripting. I think the scripting is great. I think for the most part, I think the scripting is really good. I do have a little thing with the rich
A
lady.
princess like me
With the
needs
princess, sorry.
all the care in the world. I need to be treated at all time.
At all
Lights!
time.
Like the star.
At all times, like, okay, I think the wording here is a little messy, but I think like it gets the idea across. I don't think I'm that bothered about it.
Yeah, my dad could beat your dad.
This one was wild, by the way.
Yours is dead. He's really big and yours is dead. So he punches
That's funny. I like that, to be
the
honest.
ground.
I like this as well. At the end, the last slot that you have is her running off. I think that's kind of cool. Nice little like last bit.
Ow! 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 Hey! I said I was sorry. Don't you know?
Okay, so I do think that they're in between the slots. I think you could probably neaten that up a little bit. But again, nothing big. I think for the majority of this reel, I think everything's pretty good. I do think the balancing on the SFX could be changed a little bit. Especially on this first one, I think that the hitting sounds are a little too loud compared to your vocals. You always want to have your vocals be the loudest thing in these reels, since they're a demo reel and not just like a part of a show. Because you're trying to show off your voice, it's the thing that needs to be clear at all times. You are still quite clear here, so I don't think it matters too much. But if anything, I would just bring those levels down slightly.
This.
Yeah, I think for all of this reel, I think that the music and the SFX are very light, but actually work really well here. I think the scenes have been set up in a way that you don't need crazy amounts of SFX or music or ambience or loads of random stuff going on. Here, you're in a classroom, she sat next to you, nothing's really happening, so I get it. And you only have SFX when needed for emotional choices, like the coffee pot near the
A
end.
towel. Let me grab a towel. Oh my god, I am.
Just be extra. It's extra hot, so just be extra careful.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but for example here, the balancing in terms of levels for those SFX compared to your first slot
I'm so. Ow!
is a
Ow!
lot
Ow! Ow!
different.
Hey!
I think that the
I said
hits
I
here
was
are
sorry.
very, very loud, but here the coffee isn't loud at all and could potentially be lost in the mix a little bit. But apart from that, no, I think we're fine. Position-wise, I think everything's great. I think your first position's good because it shows a wide range of emotions all at once. And it also shows a big range in dynamics, where you're sort of quiet at the start, obviously coming into the room, and then by the time it gets to the end of it, you know, you're screaming a little bit while your sister is hitting you. So I think those are all good. Overall, I really like this reel. I think, you know, small, tiny little tweaks here and there, and I think you got something really, really nice. Well done. The next reel we have is from AJ Venegas, and this looks kind of crazy already.
I beat you before, and I'm only gonna do it again. You're a total flippin' yawn fest, dude.
This looks cool.
But before, and I beat you before, and I'm only gonna do it again. You're a total flippin' yawn fest, dude. But Alan told you. No way. They got it. The ultra rare, super platinum, gold-plated goat man. 2 billion yen.
Friend, it's like they always say, cornbread don't go sideways in the winter. Where's my medication? Any slower, and they'll kill you! Keep up with me! Watch out! Don't worry. As long as you're with me, you'll be okay!
This job, it pays. All right. I never cared about getting dirty. Just keep the bureaucracy out of my face.
Well, the people have spoken, hero. Slaughter me, the world turns against you. I win.
This world, you see, with its callousness, many are like it. But this one is the worst.
Homie, anyone can pick up the mic, but it's another thing to feel it. You gotta go and like.
Call me chaotic, bit erotic, our criteria's erotic. He's across the nights, got it every single bar, I got it slotted.
It's that
Yo!
simple.
Wait, that was cool as fuck, yeah. That last bit, wait, I want to listen to that rapping again.
Homie, anyone can pick up the mic, but it's another thing to feel it. You gotta go and like.
Call me chaotic, bit erotic, our criteria's erotic. He's across the nights, got it every single bar, I got it slotted.
It's
that was cool, I like that. Also, good idea putting this as the last slot. That was smart, because if it was on any other slot, I probably would have gone, you should probably put that last because it's kind of rogue. That's cool, I like that. Okay, so immediately, I like this a lot. I think the visuals are kind of cool. This visualizer is kind of wacky. I think it's nice. Always good, put in a media artist group, like a plug, essentially. So it gives you a bit more credibility. Yeah, I mean, it looks professional. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I don't know what I could say. I think, you know, it has your personality in it, and it also has your socials. I mean, maybe you could add like your own socials, like your Instagram or X or whatever. But again, these are kind of secondary. If your main focus on where people want to find you, where you want people to find you is through here, through this email, that's good. I think that's fine.
I beat you before, and I'm only gonna do it again. You're a total flippin' yawn fest, dude.
Yeah, so immediately, I think his first slot is exactly what we're looking for. It's his normal register. It's his normal tone. It does show a wide range of emotions immediately. And it kind of shows the kind of actor that he is. I think that he probably gets booked for this kind of stuff quite often. This sort of cocky, egotistical-y kind of main character kind of vibe. I can sort of sense that throughout the reel. And I think it's great. I think it works really well. I think he sort of nails that kind of tone really, really well.
But Alan told you. No way. They got it. The ultra.
This one was wild as well, to be honest.
Got it. The ultra rare.
So we have the anime wow sound, which Guy plays great. Fuck it, I like it.
Super platinum, gold-plated goat man.
Is that? Okay, I don't know if I'm going crazy. Isn't that like a Streamlabs sound?
Plated goat man.
Is that a Streamlabs sound? What is that?
Yen.
Friend, it's like they always say, cornbread don't go sideways in the winter. Where's my medication? Any slower? Go sideways. Friend, it's like they always say, cornbread don't go sideways in the winter. Where's my medication?
I think this one kind of loses me.
Sideways in the winter. Where's my medication?
Okay, no, I get it now. Okay, all right, fine. That's fine as well. I think it's cool. This one for me, I think the voice is good. I think everything's fine. I think the scripting, I had to listen to it like quite a few times to get it, but I guess that's like how you would have to word something like this, where he's saying something nonsensical and then asking where his medication is, and then you kind of get it afterwards. Okay, yeah. I mean, again, I think scripting it's still important, but I think it's kind of, you know, you need to get the voices across and the emotions across, and as long as you're doing that, you know, it doesn't really matter what you're saying, as long as they kind of complement the main idea. This works.
Any slower, and they'll kill you! Keep up with me!
I like this one a lot. I do think it's kind of a little bit long.
Watch out! Don't worry. As long as you're with me, you'll be okay.
So yeah, I think this one starts off a bit more serious and becomes comedic, and I think that's fine. I think this whole demo reel, I feel like, has a bit of a theme where the comedy, I think, is taking precedence over any of the serious scenes. And I think that's completely okay. I think you want to work to your strengths. And here I think that's exactly what he's doing. I think that this slot is like maybe slightly too long, but it also shows him doing the grunts.
Watch out! Don't worry. As long as you're with me, you'll be okay. This job.
How long was the slot?
I'll kill you.
Yeah, so this slot is quite a bit longer than everything else. I don't know whether this would be the one to make longer. I feel like some of your other slots were a little bit stronger. I think you could probably finish the slot.
As long as you're with me.
There. I think you getting blown up, I think you could switch it there and it'll get you closer to the 1 minute mark. But I think having this extra bit, I think is fine. I think people could click off because of it, but probably not. Again, this is me doing a little bit of a nitpick. I think this demo reel is really good. I'm quite impressed by it. The mixing sounds fine. If anything, I would maybe raise the levels slightly, but the thing I have to keep in mind when I'm listening to these on X is that the compression and the quality drop is sometimes kind of shit. So I need to keep that in mind. But again, there's nothing like egregious happening with the mixing. I think the mixing's pretty good. I think it's fine. I'm also really glad that in all of his slots, he sounds like a character. Sometimes in demo reels, I hear people doing characters of certain people or groups, like having an Italian-American New York gangster, for example. I think there is one guy who can do a caricature of it, but doesn't have anything to it. He's just doing the voice, like an impression, kind of. And then there's another side, which does a character that just happens to be Italian-American, etc. Here, I think he does it really well. Not for this specifically, there's no Italian-American here. But all of his characters feel like characters, and they don't feel like he's doing an impression of somebody. Like this one here, I think, is like a My Hero Academia-y kind of voice. It's something that would fit into a show like that. But I don't think he's doing a My Hero Academia impression. I think he's got a character in My Hero Academia, if you can see the distinction.
Keep the bureaucracy face.
Well, the people have spoken, hero. Slaughter me, the world turns against you. I win.
This world you see, with its callousness, many are like it.
I think the only problem I have with this demo reel, I feel like you should have put one of these voices sooner.
With its callousness, many are like it.
I mean, I really like the range here, but how long does it take for you to get to a voice like that?
I beat you before, and I'm on fire.
The ultra rare, super.
Yeah, exactly there. Cool. So from your first one to your second one, I feel like you don't really change much. You're changing the emotion in the scene, sure, but I don't think you're changing your range much. I think if you took one of your deeper voices towards the end and brought that to your second slot, I think that would immediately show the range and immediately show the dynamics that you can get to. And I think that might be something that I would change, something that I would use to improve on. But other than that, it's just fucking good. I'll tell you, it's great.
Igor is the coach, so he brought a dog coach to main him with.
That's crazy.
We'll
Okay, the next one we have is Dante Ramos. Cool fucking name, by the way.
We'll butter my biscuits. That there's a spaceship. Y'all got sweet tea on board?
Lock loaded and turbocharged. Mega nuts, let's flame in the sky.
Well, all the clues point to the ghost being right here in this very room. Oh my gosh. He's right behind me, isn't he?
You think you're tough? I ate heroes like you for breakfast. Now let's dance, bitch.
Sprinkle, little sparkle, twist along like just so. And she's through. Voila! Magic!
They said I was broken. I say I'm art. Painted in screams and silence.
Huh, you know, ever since I pressed that big red button, there's a clock counting down on that screen over there. Looky. 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh!
Well, technically, if you apply the formula here, and factor in the stimulus variable here, let's see, carry the 1. Okay, looks like you'll survive. Well, probably.
Darling, love is a battlefield, and I am the glittering general of desire.
Okay. There's a lot here. Immediately, it's 1 minute 40. We need to cut some of the voices. I'm sorry. And I hate doing it as well. Whenever I make a reel and I've accidentally put too many slots in, and the scene goes on a little longer than it should do, and it ends up being like 1 minute 30, 1 minute 40, you gotta purge some of them. You gotta get rid of them. And I know I hate it. I hate doing it as well. But you kind of have to, because by the time you get about a minute in, I'm expecting it to kind of end, and it doesn't, which is fine for me because I want to listen to the whole thing. But for some people, it won't be, and it means that about half of your demo reel doesn't get heard. And some people, again, some casting directors, depending on where you're sending this, will see 1 minute 40 and immediately dismiss it and won't even try, which I think kind of sucks. That's how it goes. Getting into the nitty-gritty immediately, just with the visuals, I think it looks great. I think it looks clean. It looks good. I like it. I think maybe the font, I would say, is the biggest thing. I would maybe change this font to kind of match these fonts a little better. But I don't know. I think it's fine. I mean, this catches your eyes immediately because it's in bold and it's glowing and it's a different kind of font. But the tone, I guess, is slightly different. That's completely subjective, though, to be honest, so you can tell me to fuck off on that one. I think I don't have many problems with the mixing at all, I think. Again, maybe the levels, I would maybe boost the levels a little bit. I feel like...
That there's just...
Yeah, I feel like sometimes your voice gets a little lost in the mix, but it's not too big of an issue. I mean, for example...
Mega Nuts, let's play the...
This is the one I'm more talking about. The rest of them, I don't really have an issue with this one, though.
Loaded in turbocharge. Mega Nuts, let's play with the sky.
Yeah, because you have that low-passy sort of, middle EQ on it so that it becomes like a radio or like a spaceshipy kind of voice. What I would do is just duplicate the track and just have another version of you underneath it, where it's just the dry version, and just bring it through slightly so you get the impression of it being through a speaker or through a comms, but you still can actually hear the body of the voice since it's a demo reel. If it was in a show, if it was in something else, I would get it. You could probably just get away with doing that, just like how you did it. But for demo reels, you still need to make sure that the voice is the focus. And so I would maybe do that.
My gosh! He's right behind me!
But each of these slots I think are really good. I think there's just too many.
It's bitch. I he was like you for breakfast. Now let's dance, bitch.
Sprinkle, little sparkle, twist the...
Yeah, I think you just have to pick and choose here. Either that, or you make 2 reels. Because this is a character demo reel. I think this is where you could put all your whimsical and wacky voices, and I think some of your more grounded voices could go into a separate reel, into an animation reel, and have 2. And depending on what you're applying for, then you can either choose one or the other. That way you could cut this down into half, and then pick the wacky ones to stay in this character reel, and then pick your more grounded ones to be in an animation reel, and you're probably going to get to about a minute each. And then that'll be a little bit more commercially viable, and you'll also be able to tailor it to each audition that you do, since you're either going to be auditioning for a grounded kind of voice, or a wacky voice.
You know, ever since...
And you know what? Going into this video, going into doing this series, I didn't know how to approach it, because people have put time, people have put effort, and people have put, work and money into these things, and I think it's a bit unfair for me to just come in and shit on it and say, oh, it's bad, or it's this, it's that, it's whatever. All of these so far, and every reel that I'm going to review, I think is good. I think people have put the time and effort into it to make it something that people are proud of. And I think that's something that should always be celebrated. Not every voice actor has thousands of pounds to get a professional reel done. Some people don't have £200 to get a reel done, and they need to do things themselves. And when people have made their own reels, you kind of have to expect that the mixing isn't going to be insane, but it's going to be passable. It's going to get your voice across. And that's the main point of these demo reels. Having it be fancy and, having all this SFX and ambience and spatial mixing and this, that, whatever, all the bells and whistles are great. And they're always going to help you. But as long as you're carrying your voice across, and if you're able to just show your acting, show the emotion that you can put into your voice, and show that you have the consistency to do it, the rest of it is just an additive. It just makes things slightly better. With all that in mind, you need to cut this voice.
You know, ever since I pressed that big red button, there's a clock counting down on that screen over there. Looky. 3.
This is gonna go. Sorry. Reason why I say that is it doesn't achieve anything, in my opinion. I think that this voice is what I was talking about earlier when it comes to characters and a character. I don't see a character in this. I see a caricature of the dumb guy. I think people will know that you can do this kind of voice if needed. I think everybody probably can. But I think if you wanted to keep this in the reel, I would maybe develop it a little bit more to be unique to you. So what are some qualities either in your normal voice or in a different kind of voice that you have? Can you merge those together to make it sound like he's a bit of an idiot, but doesn't make it sound like he's a caricature of the stereotypical idiot guy? I think some of the voices that you have in there kind of toe that line, but I think for the majority of the time, I think it works great. I think that your range here is really, really good. I think just for that one specifically, I think there's nothing there that I would want to latch onto currently. But I think with a little bit of work in yourself and seeing all of these different voices and the type of range and dynamic you can get to, I think that's definitely doable for you. I would suggest to do that. But overall, again, really impressed. You guys are sending me really good reels. I need a bad reel so that I can rip into it. I'm joking. Okay, and for our last reel of the video, we have Ray Michelle.
I was taught to let my heart guide me, to always do what I thought was right. But when it comes to saving one person or the whole world, I'm afraid of what my heart will want.
Hello, sir. Do you want to pet my frog? No. Why? Look, it's adorable.
You can't win this, princess. You are nothing but a foolish, weak, undisciplined rat! He thinks he can embarrass me by refusing to go to prom with me in front of everyone, huh? I'll give him an embarrassment he'll never recover from. Ha! Gotcha. What is this feeling? Am I growing? Look at all of you little worms running away from me. I'll squash every single one of ya. No, Jonathan. I will not let you decide what I must do with my life. I demand respect. I am not your maid or your private chef. I am your wife. If you can't accept that, then I hope you'll find happiness being alone.
Okay, I really like her voice. I really, really like this. You can tell between this one and...
He thinks he can embarrass me by refusing...
And this one, there isn't actually much of a difference in terms of the vocal quality, in terms of what she's actually changing in her timbre. But the emotion that she's able to portrays completely different characters. even though they're the same voice essentially. And I think this is something that works really, really well in the anime industry. The kind of voice actors that get roles and roles and roles and roles and roles all the time are people who can basically just use their natural voice and portray multiple characters just through the emotion that they portray. Here, you can tell that she is...
He can embarrass me.
You know, she's got a bit of an ego. She wants to be prom queen, I guess. Or, she has ambition. And you can just tell all of that through the way that she's using her voice, even though she's not changing it entirely. This one, for example.
He thinks he can embarrass me by refusing to go to prom with me in front of everyone, huh?
Okay.
I was taught to let my heart guide me.
Those two voices are essentially the same voice, but portray completely different characters. I really like vocals like this where they have so much depth to them, and they don't have to change much in the actual voice itself. Some people are able to go from crazy dragon to small little frog, or to like a gnome dwarf guy to a wise sage or something. They have a really wide range in their voice. But within those voices, you sometimes don't get to see all that much emotional change. It's difficult to keep that voice up while you're trying to do different kinds of scenes, a sad scene, a happy scene, an angry scene, etc. But here, I think she's really lent into the fact that her natural vocal range works really well. And she's able to get all of these different characters just from that. Again, we'll quickly just go over the visuals. I didn't really mention them because they're great. There's nothing to say about them. I really like it. I think it's clean. I think it's nice. If anything, maybe I would switch this with this so that she's pointing inwards into the scene rather than away. But that's again, crazy little nitpick. It's fine as it is. I think it looks good. I like the sky. I like the stars. I think it looks good.
I thought was right.
I think everything's fine. I think all the fonts work as well. I think sometimes the fonts can kind of mismatch with the rest of the tone of the visuals. Here, don't think so. I think they work perfect. Mixing wise, there were a couple things that I wanted to note.
Hello, sir. Why?
The majority of the time
Look,
it's fine.
It's adorable. Oh? Why?
I think the only problem is that there are a couple plosives.
Pet my frog? Hello, sir. Do you want to pet my frog?
There.
Look, it's adorable. You can't.
I think the sibilance as well is a little hot.
Adorable. Adorable.
If you hit on adorable.
Look, it's adorable.
It's a little sharp, but that's okay. That's not too bad.
You can't win this, princess.
Yeah, there as well on the princess.
Miss Princess. You can't win this, princess.
The plosives. Again, that's fine. I mean, again, these are kind of secondary kind of things. If you can fix the plosives, fix the plosives. Again, not a big issue, not a big deal, but just to point it out.
You are not to prom with me in front of everyone, huh? Feeling. Am I growing?
Okay, here I really like it in the mix-in.
Feeling. Am I growing?
You can hear they automated the reverb to kind of complement her growing, which I really like. However, I think then, unfortunately, the gravitas of her being big and growing gets lost because of the sound effects that was used for the feet, the stomping.
Look at all of you little worms.
Because I assume this is meant to be her as a giant smashing into a city and going, haha, you're all worms and, fear me. But the sound effect used sounds like a pillow. Sounds like you're hitting a pillow. So there's a massive mismatch. And it makes her feel small, unfortunately.
Running away from me. I'll squash every...
See, and then, this is cool as well because they've pitch shifted a duplicate down to give it, a chorus.
I will not let you decide what I must do with my life. I demand respect. I am not your maid or your private chef.
I think there as well.
Chef. I am maid or your private chef.
Yeah, I think some of the SFX used are actually detracted from the take rather than complementing it. I think again there with the cup, I think there it's quite a serious scene. I don't think it's meant to be comedic or lighthearted. I think it's meant to be, proper. But the way that the SFX are mixed in and the kind of SFX that are used make it sound less serious.
Not your maid or your private chef.
Right? I don't think it's like a big issue. I think for the majority of the time, I think it works anyway. But if I had to say something...
I am your wife. If you...
Yeah, like here as well.
Wife. Private chef. I am your wife.
I think, here she's angry and having wife and then like a... rather than anything else with it, the emotion isn't carried with the SFX, with the mixing. I think your take is fine. I think maybe...
I am your wife.
Yeah. I think throughout this, I think the only thing I would say for the vocal takes themselves is I think sometimes on some of the slots, I think that you get into like, Mum is in the next room shouting. Like here.
I am your wife.
I think you probably could have done more. I think you could have been bigger and more, either angry or either gone one direction or the other, maybe sad or angry. But I think the wife, I think when you got to wife, I think you wanted to be louder, and then I think you stopped yourself.
Are nothing but a foolish, weak, undisciplined rat.
I think that actually works. I think you had the right amount of volume and the right amount of emotion.
Weak,
Yeah, I don't think you need to go more there.
Undisciplined, feeling of you little worms running away. I will.
No, I think it's just on this last one actually.
But I thought was right.
Maybe on this giant.
I'll squash every single one of ya.
Yeah, maybe slightly on this one as well. Yeah, I think you can go more. I think you can go bigger. And I think it's something that voice actors do a lot, including me when I was still voice acting. I don't voice act anymore. For example, in my live direction sessions, sometimes I'll have a voice actor in, and there'll be a scene where they need to be loud, they need to be big. And they'll do it, and in their heads, they are loud and they are big. But I can tell, just from like the way that they, even just when they normally speak, that I can tell they can go a lot bigger, a lot more. And I think you just have to push past this like weird little trigger that just you sort of catch yourself. And I think it's, again, this is just me sort of guessing, to be honest. I don't really know why this happens to so many voice actors, but I think it just stems from when you first were starting out and you don't want people to hear you. You don't want people to like hear your voice acting because you think it's cringe or you think it's bad or whatever. But I know that it's not. I know that your voice acting and everybody's voice acting that I've heard so far has been really fucking good. And I think you just need to push past that little bit to bring out the peaks of your emotional range, because I think you cap yourself when you're trying to do that whispery shout rather than a real shout or a real cry or a real, angry moment or a real sad moment or, just being slightly more expressive. Now, that is to say, there's actually another reason why. There's a second reason why, and if this is the reason why, completely get it. And that is just your setup. If the kind of mic that you're on, if you start shouting and it starts peaking to hell and it starts getting really crispy, I get it. Obviously, you can just turn your gain down as you're doing the take, or you can just turn the gain down and do the whole thing there. But then sometimes the mic isn't able to pick up the qualities of your voice when you're not shouting. And so the rest of the take sounds a bit flat. And so blah, 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 blah. Round and round it goes. I understand. And if that's the case, then there's nothing we can do about it. And I get it. But overall, I really, really like your voice. I'm a really, really big fan of it. I think you're going to go far with it. thank you for watching the first episode of the demo reel review. Obviously, I've only done 5 out of the, I think, like 70 that I've got. So I'm really, really appreciative of all of the support and all of the engagement that I got in the post. So we will definitely be doing more. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know if I've missed anything or if there's something you'd like me to touch on more. This will be a work in progress with all of us. But until next time, I'll see you later.